Good morning. Welcome back. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Derek. I am one of the dev team members for HumanitZ, and we have a lot more news. I failed to do a Zeek Feed 006 coverage because I've never really covered those. It's always been just the main updates. But since we are in an extended period of work and we're not pushing up updates to the game, we still need to make sure that we're informing you guys on things. So we're going to be covering Zeek Feed 006, which just got pushed earlier today, like 10, 15, 20 minutes ago. Yeah, either way. I was out taking care of some stuff for the family. I'm back now. But the reason why I'm doing this largely is because of one person in Steam discussions. They can't actually see any of the pictures or the images or anything that we added into Steam, which is very odd. So I asked them if they wanted to come over to the Discord. They were like, I don't use Discord. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well, let me do a dev team video for you so that way you can at least see it. And then when this goes up on YouTube or if they're going to watch on Twitch, whatever. So yeah, so this is why we're doing it. And I like to give you guys more not backstory, but like more insight into why things are, why some things are getting added, why some things aren't being added. Answer your questions along the way if you guys have questions, and just give you guys that direct opportunity to be able to talk with us right away. So Yaz may or may not pop in here. Dubs may or may not pop in here. I know Yaz is going to be out of pocket for the next few days. So we yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. I have a very bad habit of not scrolling up. So if you see it and I'm talking, oh, there's Yaz. Okay, so he is lurking. All right, so he's got to make sure that I don't say anything dumb, dangerous, different, no bitches, gripes, complaints. If anybody else has bitches, gripes, or complaints, please go ahead and file it away, and we will review it whenever we think about it. No, that's a joke. But no, seriously, if you guys like what you're seeing, please let us know. If you don't like some of the changes that we're about to go over and talk about, please also let us know. Constructive, negative feedback definitely helps the game better, and we don't see it as, oh, people are being, mean. We see it as, okay, people are invested and they love the game and they want to see it become even better. That's the way that we look at it, okay? So please give us your feedback, and yeah. All right, we're going to jump into it. I am going to be having some Kool-Aid every now and then, and let me take care of something. There. Okay. Zeke Feed news, more 1.0 information. Again, at the end, I'm going to cover 006 because that's a lot of other information. Before we dive into this latest Zeke Feed, just a heads up. This episode contains quite a few spoilers. If you'd rather discover everything fresh when 1.0 drops, turn off the video. Don't read this. Stay away from it if you just want to be surprised. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and continue. We've been working harder than ever since the last Zeke Feed, and we've got plenty to yeah. And we've got plenty to show and discuss. Let's start with the infection. So, infection is going to be changing. Currently, right now, the way the infection works is it only works when you get bitten. Okay. When you get bitten, you have a 50-50 chance on whether or not you're going to incur infection. Your second bite is a 75% chance, and then your third bite, you are 100% infected, and then you're going to have the little ticker that counts down until you die. Taking a treatment, which you craft yourself, will halt the infection. That is current. That is what is currently in place. So what a lot of people are doing right now is they'd be like, well, I guess I'll just die. And then they die and they clear the infection. It doesn't make the zombies threatening, right? Okay, so I'm just prefacing that. Our goal was to make the Zekes feel more like a threat and overhaul how the infection works in HumanitZ. With the new character progression and skill system, losing a survivor should now feel more impactful than ever. So, getting into the infection system overhaul. Let me scroll up before Dub says scroll up. All right. We've introduced a brand new infection system. Again, all of this is coming, so it's not in the game now except for the private testing group. All right. Now, each time you get hit by a Zeke, you'll take on a small amount of infection. This will slowly build up over time. Once your infection meter hits 10%, It will display on your player HUD so you can keep track of it. Okay, so you'll take a couple of swipes, it'll be negligible. Once you hit that 10%, you're gonna see like this image right here. Boop. I make that big without stupid screen. The normal infection symbol, right? So that will start to fill. The infection meter ranges from 0 to 100, but beware, a single bite now adds 50 to the meter, so that things can go bad fast, real fast. If the meter hits 100, you're dead. And when you die, regardless of whether it's a zombie, whether it's another player, whether it's a human AI, dog, whatever, death, whatever. When you die, you will lose all accrued experience. More to follow, pending the public testing group. That way, you know, people that want to sit there and base build and constantly die over and over again, Bert, you're going to lose your experience. How to combat the infection. Clothing and armor now help reduce infection damage. You can still craft an infection treatment like before, but it now reduces infection by 50% instead of just the regular 20-25 that it does now. And it's tied to unlocked skill, so you will need to learn how to craft the infection treatment. We've also added a new homebrew medicine that can be crafted at the chemistry station. It suppresses infection gradually, sort of a poor man's version of the full infection treatment, and this isn't locked behind a skill, you just need the resources to craft it. So once you get your chemistry bench up and running, once you have the resources, you can craft the infection. It's an infection inhibitor, is what it's called. So while the system is kind of similar to before, you can manage infection and prevent death. It is now more dangerous and requires more careful planning. So far, feedback from all our testers on this has been overwhelmingly positive. And that doesn't mean, you know, like, oh, Cracker Barrel, overwhelmingly positive. No, it means like legitimately, we're taking their feedback and they're like, hey, this kind of sucks. Maybe you should tweak this. Hey, this is really cool. This is good. So far, it's been extremely positive. A caveat to that is as I was testing the infection, it definitely makes you play a little bit more conservatively. Like, you know, do you want to get in there close and get in there and, you know, throw punches? Do you want to get in there with a knife, a smaller weapon? You need to pay attention to the enemies that get stunned. You need to pay attention to their stun windows, how many swings you can do, whether or not you want to risk a combo. If you got a brute runner running up on you, what type of weapons you're going to want to use. You should be kitted out going out into the world once you establish your base and things like that. You'd be like, all right, I want to go looting. I'm going to take out this weapon loadout, or hey, I need to go logging for wood, so I need to take out this type of loadout. Just make sure that you account for what you may run into. So again, here's the infection. It's going to build, and once you hit 100, you're dead. You're done. Like, it's not, you know, wait until you get to 100. Hey, morning, net. Once you get to 100, you can't take any treatment. So you can take your inhibitors and your treatments all the way up to the point where you hit 100. The reason why the bite is so dangerous now is because it adds 50% to the damage. So if you're sitting there at, like, you know, 35, 40%, and all of a sudden you get bit, that's going to jump to 90%. So now you got like maybe a swing or two, especially if you're surrounded, you might get schwacked right there. So, a lot more planning is going to be going into this. Why we made the changes. Kind of covered it earlier, but our vision for HumanitZ has always been to make zombies something you genuinely fear. Being careless or making poor decisions about when to run or fight should now have equal consequences, and with this change to the infection system, you can really feel it now. And it, like I already said that, you know, like, you definitely play a little bit more conservatively. You don't just run in there and try to beat everything to death with your katana. More in the future on that. Let's continue with making the game harder, but if you want to, right? So yes, we want the game to genuinely be at a certain level in difficulty. We're about to get into that. We've added new feature to HumanitZ, Afflictions. All right. These are optional modifiers you can choose before starting a game to make your survival even more challenging. Okay. So there's going to be an option. There's going to be no modifiers. There's going to be random modifiers, and then you can actually go through and individually pick which one you want in case you want to RP your, your little scenario, or like, afflictions are perfect for role. Oh, excuse me. ACL, for example, just three. It's not just three. All right, there's a lot more than three. These are just the three we're showcasing for now. ACL reduces your movement speed. Bad back lowers your carry weight. Fumble slows your reload speed. Out of all of the ones that I have played so far, of those three that I can mention, I absolutely hate fumble. Fumble, I hate it so much. It's an amazing addition to the game. I fucking hate it. I absolutely hate it. I never want to accidentally randomly roll that one. Afflictions are perfect for roleplay scenarios or for survivors who want to push themselves to the absolute limit by stacking an extra challenge on top of max difficulty. So let's say you want to run, jump into a nightmare scenario, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and add in modifier X. Just to give yourselves a little bit more of a challenge. So on top of the difficulty and settings, we have revamped the settings menu. Hey! And created some predefined game settings to get you up and running. Whether you're a brand new player or a seasoned veteran, we have you covered. All right. Rookie is going to be recommended for the entry level. So if you're just starting out and you're like, I don't know what I'm getting into, let me play on rookie. All right. True survivor is going to be the basically default. That is where we as the HumanitZ team have decided these are the settings that we envision the game to be at a default level. Then you're going to have hardcore. Then you're going to have nightmare. And then, of course, you're still going to have your custom settings. There's your custom settings, right? We also have new improved custom settings allowing more options, like setting loot rarity of different item types. So a lot of people have been asking, hey, I want to be able to tweak, the rarity of ammo, the rarity of resources, the rarity of different things. So now we're going to be adding in that stuff for more people that want that function. We're still trying to stay away from the simulator realm where you have to play or you have to choose all of your settings. So now you're going to have your default settings for the different modes, and then your custom if you want to jump into the custom. All right. In the last Zeek Feed, 006, which we'll cover at the end, we shared some early images of the new custom characters. And progress has been moving along very well, really well since then. We've added new clothing that can become worn, dirty, or blood covered over time, plus new beards and hairstyles that look far better than our earlier versions. We are really pleased with how all this is shaping up. So we had a godsend. I received a DM in the Discord asking, someone had asked, hey, I work on X, Y, and Z. Would you guys, be interested in, like having somebody else help out? And I was like, well, go ahead and hit up Yaz. And I sent Yaz all of his information. And he said that he can do all the rigging and all the animations and the upscaling and changes for all of the different characters. We brought them on board, and right now we're working on the male models. So, that being said, over the next few weeks, we will be working on new player faces and beginning development on the female character model. A lot of people don't like the muscle mommy. We get it. Look, this happened before I came into the group, and this is the way I kind of explain it, right? Is when you're first starting out the game, you don't have like $20, $50, $40,000 in order to pay somebody to do character creation. So you use what you got in the Unreal store, right? So that's what we had access to. But as we've been able to, obviously, the money has been coming in. Sales have been going very well. I jumped on the team, started working with them. We get a little bit more money, Now we can bring in somebody that specializes in this area, right? So this portion is being improved. Scrolling down just a little bit, you're going to see you've got a bunch of different, you got, beard styles, different hairstyle, little emo hairstyle. The hairstyle right there, yeah. Got my fucking, my ponytail, long hair on the side, fucking haircut right there. We got all these different ones. Little mohawk. Drop Dead Zed. Hey, man. We got something coming your way in terms of hairstyle, man. I specifically said we got to get some good hair in there. Mad Bulldozer, hello. Good morning, good morning. You can see that you've got the parka up and the parka down. It's not showcased yet, but I'm going to spoil it because it kind of falls into this realm. since he's showcasing this, you can see the character down here. Boop, 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 boop. He's got the shirt tucked out. All right. He is wearing a t-shirt underneath. Okay, but he's got his jacket zipped up. Maybe the jacket will be zipped up or be able to be zipped open. Your t-shirts for right now are tucked out. Maybe you'll be able to tuck them in, tuck them out, halfway tuck them in, halfway tuck them out. Who knows? In terms of having the headgear up, this is the part that I wanted to talk about. If you're wearing a hat, if you're wearing a cap, masks, stuff like that, we are working on allowing to have hoods up with hats on. So that way it doesn't like make your character go bald and stuff like that when it has the hood up. You'll be able to have your balaclavas or your face masks or your medical face coverings, your gas masks and stuff show with the hoods up on hoodies and just it's going to look a lot better. So you're going to have a little bit more customization instead of having to worry about, well, I really like my hat, but I don't want the hood up on this jacket because then it's just going to be the hood. So more to follow. New special types of ammo. So if you guys didn't pay attention to 006, this was kind of teased on the table before. Okay, right here. We're also introducing new ammo types for those who like to customize their firepower. Armor piercing, punches through armored enemies. Dragon's breath, shotgun rounds sets targets on fire. The shredder bleed rounds, they cause bleeding, obviously. Hardcast, heavy impact rounds for larger targets, or larger threats. And incendiary, ignites enemies on impact. So Dragon's Breath and Incendiary both do the same thing, but here's the caveat. Okay. Obviously, you can't put shotgun rounds into other weapons to make them incendiary, right? So this incendiary is probably specific to a certain type of weapon. Okay. Maybe all of these are specific to a certain type of weapon. Maybe you can use all of these in all different types of weapons. Who knows? But for right now, all we can tell you is we have different types of armor or different types of ammunition that's coming. And the way that's going to work is very simple. We'll talk about it as soon as we get into the next section when we're talking about the weapons and the ammo. But all you're going to have to do is either hold Y on your keyboard to swap, or excuse me, you're going to have to, if you have rounds loaded into your weapon, you're going to need to physically uninstall them. If you run out of your regular ammo or whatever, if you're using some of these rounds, all you're going to have to do is hold down your Y key to swap ammos once your weapon's empty. Okay, so just be mindful of that. There we go. We finally updated guns and ammo. Now when you load a firearm, the ammo is taken from your inventory and stored directly in the weapon. So we told you that we were working on it. It just took us a very long time to get it done. Okay, we have been working on it. We know that it was a gigantic pain in the ass. I've hated it. Yaz has hated it. Dubs has hated it. Everybody has hated it. We know. We get it. It's from an older system. It's finally fixed. Yeah, there you go. So you can see down in here, it says tactical shotgun, 12 gauge shells, 7 of 34. So it's going to show you what you currently have loaded in there, how many rounds you have loaded in, how many rounds you have total. But if you put your weapon in your backpack, if you put your weapon in storage, if you drop your weapon, when you save and log out and log back in, all of that is fixed. All of your ammunition stays directly in the weapon. Okay, so if you have 8 rounds and you have your tactical shotgun, you load up your tactical shotgun with those 8 rounds, that ammunition will disappear out of your inventory, freeing up that space. Make sense? Cool, great. So in short, if you load rounds into a gun, drop it, and someone else picks it up, the ammo will still be in that gun. This also accounts for storing weapons in your pack, a container, and the ammo will stay in the weapon when logging out. So no more reloading everything when you hop back in. Cool. Challenges. We've been busy creating new and improved challenges along with a cleaner, easier to track UI system. These challenges will reward you with experience you will need for the new skill system, helping you unlock those all-important late-game skills. Okay? We have retooled the entire XP system. We're still retooling it, because we need to be able to get our character up to max level in certain different conditions and be able to see how many skills and variations of different things that we can make and where is that point where we run out of XP. So for example, if you play on a game where you don't have zombies or enemy AI respawning, right? You're going to have a finite number of XP that you can use or that you can farm from them, right? So we need to account for quest XP, these challenges XP, whether or not you have enemy AI events or hordes turned on, um, debating on whether or not building is going to allow you experience or not, because we know a lot of people rush to do buildings. Some things have had their experience values taken away for crafting. So that way it's not like the Arc scenario where all you're doing is crafting, cloth caps, and you're just ramping up your XP for all the speedrunner Arc players out there. That's the best way that I can put it. Let's see. There's a lot of hard work being done on the map and level design. I don't want to show you guys yet. Hang on. Suze has been killing it in the map design. I'm currently working on the island. I'm working specifically on the military portions that may or may not appear in that area, like the checkpoints. But there's a lot going on the island, and Suze is right now focusing on the main map. Once she's done focusing on the main map, then she's also going to transition over to the island, and we're kind of tag teaming it. So since they live over in the UK, she works on it. Her and Yaz work on the map in the mornings, and then in the evening times when I'm at work. Well, I'm at work all day, but in the evening times, that's when I'm working on my portions of the map. So I'll be working on it over this weekend because I will have free access all hours. So I will be working on my portions, and hopefully my part of the island will be done by the time Yaz gets home. So there's a lot of hard work being done on the map and level design. Lots of locations and towns are getting nice updates. So here is a sneak peek on some of the work done so far. Many of these images are from locations still under construction, but it's looking very good. All right. Don't want to seem biased. I remember playing in the initial stages. A lot of things were just, it's cut and paste. Everything looks the same. It's you guys have seen the evolution ever since Sue started, like getting her feet wet on the map, and it's just the game has just taken off in all these different areas. We've added a Hudson High School, a historical museum, city bank, and much more. The whole of Hudson City is having a full makeover. Hey Tycho, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. So you'll be able to see a little bit. This one's taken from the sky in the engine, what we're working on, so it's kind of cloudy. But you can see right here is the high school. Okay, and you got a nice little cul-de-sac right here, right across from it, where all the rich bitches live, hanging out, and they get to live right across from the school. Everybody just walks home, has party. I apologize if I fuck up your name, Lewizak. Thank you so much for the follow. What else can I show? Because as soon as I click on this, it's not going to work appropriately unless I there we go. I can do this. All right. Make it a little bit bigger. So this is all Hudson City. Hudson has grown. Huge. So here's the high school. We've got a lot more things. I'm about to scroll down and show you guys some more here in a second. All right. Right here, this is the main drag into the town. Okay, so now you've got, instead of just military checkpoints, you've got, actual town, people trying to fortify it themselves. You've got some concrete barriers. You've got the metal fencing, tires, some walkways behind it. But that leads into the town. Right here, you've got, let me see if I can pull both of these up at the same time. Hudson City, there you go. Louis? Okay, Louis. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. Hudson High School, right there. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Suze, for flipping the American flag around, because you're always supposed to have the Union at the top left when you're facing it and it's hanging. I appreciate that very much. I have to go into all the different stores, and I have to go to all the buildings wherever there's American flags and make sure that they actually fit via US code. It's important to me. But yeah, here's the high school. I'm gonna have a lot of cool stuff. I'm sure when you guys get onto the actual click on the Zeek feed yourself, you guys can blow up the images and see them a little bit better. But yeah, when this releases, I want to see if anybody picks up on the mascot, on kind of why we called him that, where it comes from. So we'll see. But we have a mascot coming for the high school. This is the historical museum right here. Okay, you'll be able to go inside. I don't remember if Yaz incorporated a picture as to what it looks like. I think it was only in our Discord on what it looks like on the inside. But there's a lot of cool shit, and we're about to show you here in a second. Coinhaven Bank. So there is going to be a bank. Money is going to be a lot more important in 1.0. You're going to be able to use it for a lot more trading and stuff. And of course, the bank is going to be right next to Opie's bar. So then that way you can go in, get your money, walk down to the bar, waste your life, right? Cool. And here's another portion right here. Okay. So this is a nice little neighborhood that's going on. You got a little fucking, little bum trailers, little double wides, and then you got your church. You got a little nice little area over here. Hudson is getting my Jesus Christ, puberty. God damn. At 40, Hudson is growing. All right. More feedback from the community. So I don't want to hear, the devs don't listen. Yes, we do. Case in point, new hide grass building system. All right. When building certain items, now the buildable will remove the grass for a cleaner look inside your base. This has been a heavily requested feature and is finally coming to the game. So in this first image, you can see, hey, I'm about to place this down and it looks like garbage, right? I got grass growing all through here. I got a wood fire pit, or I got my cooking pit right here. It just looks terrible, right? So what if I place it now? Now it gets rid of it. Okay? You guys ask, and we do what we can. It just takes us a very long time. There's 6 of us. All of us are learning. So it's our first game. So thank you to everybody that has stuck with us and have given us support and definitely sticks up for us in Steam discussions and across the different venues, saying that, yes, we do in fact listen. So. All right. New Zekes. We have added some new Zekes, but we won't share all of them, as we want to keep them a secret for the full release. But here is a sneak peek of the new giant Zeke. So he's a big boy. He's a big boy. Okay. I haven't run hydrate. I got Kool-Aid. That has water in it. Still haven't had a soda since fucking December. All right. Something I want to touch on regarding the zombies. We've had a lot of people asking for the option to turn off the special infected, like the leapers, the brute runners, the toxics. We are toying with the idea. However, if you were to turn those off, then that's going to kind of conflict with all the lore that we're adding to the game, because there will be lore explaining why those things are there. We didn't just say, hey, let's just add this zombie in there because. No, there's a reason behind it. One of the things that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks is working on the lore and building the story as to how things happened, the timeline of events, how things came to be, the reasonings, how things have evolved, how some things have devolved. So it's we may allow the people to turn those special infected off, but it's going to come at a cost as to it's just not going to balance with the lore. So it's going to be like, there's plenty of awesome Walking Dead games out there, and I get it. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan myself, but if I want to play a Walking Dead game, then I'm going to go play a Walking Dead game. I'm not going to try to turn another game into The Walking Dead. But I understand you guys. I'm a gamer before I'm somebody who works on the game. All right? Trust me. I get you. While we... Oh, I didn't catch that. That's my bad. Discus. My bad. While we discuss Zekes, we've made some really good progress on performance and optimization, allowing us to increase the amount of Zekes on screen, and with that, we've been working hard on the sound effects and different hit reacts to make the combat feel a bit more connected. So, look at that. See that zombie? Boom! 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 They're hit reacting. See that? Boom! Hit react. Swallow your pride. Don't let your lip react. I just realized that card disappears. Look at that. Watch. Boom. Unless that's 2 different scenarios. Hang on. It's 2 different buildings. Never mind. It's 2 completely different houses. Sorry. All right. New locked storage unit with a juicy building loot. So this is another Bert's hardware store. Okay. So, Bert, we love you, man. We got another little outpost with some storage where some of your things are at. New bus stop signs fit in the world of HumanitZ. Check them out when you find them. They might have some information posted to guide you along the way. Foot stomp, hint, hint. Okay. So, they're going to have, you can see you got like cheap gas, you've got bookstore, you've got the auto shop there, you've got fast food, you got bear safe storage, you got Hudson Hospital, or St. Hudson Hospital, So you've got all these different little in-game buildings that are actually on these bus stop locations. But there might be some other stuff at those bus stops for you to find. Check it out. You guys don't care about that. You guys care about this. Here's a tease of some new items coming to HumanitZ. So now, these duffel bags you're going to be able to wear. You got military, you've got police, you've got a red one, you got a black one. So the inspiration for this came from bank heist movies, actually. So, you know, like you go in, you got the fixed discuss. Thanks, Yos. That's on me. I didn't catch that. That's one of those words where as long as the first letter and the last letter are in the appropriate location, you can take all the letters in between and jumble them up, and it'll still read the way that it's supposed to the way your brain is reading. So, these two items, like that, a long sword and a helmet, museum, long sword, helmet, antique store, museum, maybe, who knows? These are twinkles. They're not Twinkies. They're twinkles. Okay. This is your infection inhibitor. This is a steel hammer. And this is just a small little bit of some of the items that we're adding in. We've got a lot more. It's just, you know, a little tease now between now and when 1.0 comes out. So, thanks for taking the time to read our latest Zeek feed. We hope you're as excited as we are for the future of humanity. From here on out, we will be bringing you more Zeek feeds to keep you updated on progress and all the latest info as we move toward 1.0. If you can, make sure that you go over there and write that up. Let's see, what does Venom say? Are the bags worn on the back in addition to or in place of backpacks? Ah, haha. As like legitimately, as of right now, they're worn on your back. As of right now, they're worn on your back. They're not in addition to. It's not a bad shout though. I know one of the things that we are working on is, and we've openly said this, is allowing backpacks to be inside backpacks. The first stage of that was actually the dog vest. Okay. So the dog vest is a storage item that you can put on the dog, and it acts as like a backpack for the dog, right? But you can carry that item in your backpack and then you just walk up and hit install, right? Or, you know, you just install it on the dog. Being able to have a backpack in a backpack, it's still very difficult to do. We're trying to get it to work. Okay. We want to be able to have that incorporated. It's the dog vest and the backpack coating are two completely different beasts. Okay, the way that they function. So it's a matter of us manipulating that, or have a backpack carry a big bag in one hand and restrict it to single hand melee only. That's something that we're also looking at. We're looking at being able to carry a bag in your hand and be able to, you know, stuck with one hand. The the problem is with that is with the rigging of the character and what the offhand is doing or allowed to do with the coding. Right? So we are operating within certain restrictions. We're trying to get it to work. We want to be able to do it too. So it's just going to take a little bit more time. So thank you for your support, survivors. Stay safe out there. HZ team. Right? Okay. Make sure you give us a little rate up or rate down. It's up to you. If you do rate down, please give us some feedback. Let us know like what you like, what you don't. I know a lot of people, they come to here and they go to, you know, they click on discuss and they talk about it and then they say, you guys need to add X, Y, and Z. Da, 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 da. Cool. Throw that over in the feedbacks and suggestions area. Cool. Absolutely. Discussing this, let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Give us some ideas on what you would like to see on the things that we covered here. And that's all that I'm going to say for this portion. This is the newest portion. Now I'm going to jump into Zeek Feed 006. Again, this is so that way anybody that missed it before and it doesn't get buried can see what's going on. Where are we at on time right now? 34 minutes. All right. This is going to be quick, down and dirty, moving very, very fast. All right. So our last one. Hello, survivors. It's been a while since our last Zeek Feed, and for good reason. We've been heads down, pushing out update after update, shaping humanity into the game you deserve. Sometimes that means less time for news, but today, actually, July 31st, Thursday, July 31st. We've got something big to share. So grab coffee, sit back, and let's dive in. Marching towards 1.0. We have no projected updates until 1.0, but that doesn't mean that something might come up and we need to push an update, okay? We are solely focusing on 1.0 right now, which is going to be later this year. We do know the exact date on which we're going to be releasing it, but we cannot discuss that at this time. We're excited to officially announce that the dev team is now working full steam ahead towards 1.0 build of HumanitZ. Let's be clear, 1.0 is not the end, it is just the beginning. All right, we are going to be planning, or we are going to be supporting HumanitZ long after 1.0. So what 1.0 really means, a more stable, optimized foundation, key systems and mechanics polished based on our vision and your feedback, continued content and support beyond launch, and the start of a longer journey, not the final chapter. Before we get into that, huge thank you to everybody. Huge thank you to everybody. To every single one of you who has played HumanitZ over the past 2 years, submitted feedback, reported bugs, or just shared the love, thank you. Your support has meant everything, and it's helped shape what HumanitZ is and will become. We're building this world with you. So it's not just you, it's not just us building it. We're building it with you, with all of your valuable input and feedback. And 1.0 is only the first big step in what we hope will be a long, undead journey together. Okay. So we are going to be continuing support past 1.0. It's not just, you know, kicking something out and then being done and moving on to something else. We've got a lot planned. Here's a huge list of stuff that's coming to 1.0. This is one thing that I wanted to avoid in the last one, was just like a whole bunch of bullet points. So brand new skills and professions system. I'll show you guys that. New island discover and explore. Game performance and improvements. We're constantly doing improvements to the game. We understand that there are some performance hitches, and there are bugs, and there are stuttering, or there is stuttering. It's early access. We're fixing it. Give us some time. Fix as many bugs as possible. I'm a broken record when it comes to this. Like, yeah, this is a cool thing to add, but we still got this whole pile of bugs that we need to work on. And then I get yelled at, and then more bugs get fixed. And then I get yelled at. I have to be that guy. I'm the one that brings I'm that guy to, like, I bring the things to the technician so the customers don't have to deal with them. I'm the kind of not important, but I log everything and put everything in a nice clean package order. It gets taken care of. Zeek update, performance, movement, and mechanics, as we showed you earlier. Human AI update. There's going to be a bandit sniper, more realistic movement, tactics, and actions. Okay, so yes, a bandit sniper is coming. One thing that I kicked over to Yaz a couple of days ago is some stuff specific to the human AI and how they can move and interact with each other, not just with you. More to follow on that. And I'm purposely being vague. Improve building system and negate the skybase issues. So right now, you've got a bunch of people that build these skybases. It's already covered in the code of conduct. Do not build skybases. If a skybase gets reported, and I'm given the location via the map, I will go in. We've already notified people multiple times. We're done with that. Okay, I go in and I will physically remove your base. I will not give you warning. I will not ask you to move. Nothing. It's already covered in the code of conduct. And every time you guys log into the servers, it says, "Hey." It gives you that splash page. It tells you that you need to abide by the code of conduct. And everybody's like, "Yeah, okay, cool, whatever." But failure to read it, that's not important. You playing on the servers is an automatic acknowledgement that you guys accept the rules and responsibilities and repercussions and consequences of what happens to what you play. So no more building sky bases. Stop building floating bases. But yeah, we're working on improving that so that way that isn't a thing anymore. So then that way we can just rip that out of the code of conduct and it's just not an issue anymore. Guns and ammo change. Ammo will be stored in the weapon when dropped, sold, etc. This was a month ago, and we told you within less than 30 days, it's already done. Weapon sway and recoil. There is weapon sway and recoil now. Special ammo, we're already working on that. Yep. Lore, I'm working on the lore. We're going to be pushing a lot of stuff to localization teams here shortly. So I still need to go through and do some more stuff with the quests. I'll be working on that this weekend, just cleaning them up, making them a little bit more tidy, and adding in little bits and pieces of lore, like maybe some if you finish a quest and it's waiting for you to like a day or two for the next quest to pop up for that vendor, they might have some extra tidbits of information and lore bits that are thrown in there. Full main map overhaul, including the Hudson City full rework. Suze is actually bouncing back and forth between 4 different areas right now. But Hudson is the primary focus. In-game map update. So that for the testing group has already seen it. We have updated the map. Right now, it is still the gray and white scale values, but it will show you a lot more. It is completely updated to what is on the map now. We've been saying for a long time that it'll be ready for 1.0, and it is ready. but we're still improving the map, and then we'll have one final map just before we push for 1.0. Full controller support. The game has full controller support. I have this Xbox controller. I have this PS5 controller. I have this Xbox controller. I have this generic ass Xbox controller. I have my broken Xbox controller over here. I have multiple different controllers that I work on. I have to play test through all of this stuff. All right. I assure you the game does work on controller. We are going to be adding in some aim assist and some more features for the controller, but the game is very, very playable. There is some problems with the game right now detecting controller functionality when like tabbing out or tabbing back in, going into a menu, and sometimes your cursor disappears on mouse and keyboard. Sometimes it's trying to detect a controller. There's a couple of little bugs that we're working out, but the game is still playable with the controller. But full controller support, and this is to include Steam Deck, which is the very next bullet point, Steam Deck support. We want to make sure that it's very seamless, that you can just jump in and play. And not have to remap anything unless you need to. Loads of new quests. Right now there's over 70, I believe 72 quests in the game. And we have a total of 148 on deck right now, I think. 148. So there's a lot of quests that are going to be in the game. New world quests. Can't go into specifics on them. We've kind of teased things here and there regarding the gas stations. But there's a couple of other ones that are going to be added as well. And again, this isn't an end-all be-all. This is just for 1.0. Rebalancing of XP acquisition. That talked about that earlier. Quality of life, polish, and standardization of things across the board. Motorbikes. PvP balancing. Changes to hunting system. Healing other players. What else? What the hell is this? Follower goal. Hey, Tycho, thank you for the follow. Hey, 500. Look at that. Wow. Monumentous occasion. 500. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Healing other players. Yep. More cooking options and recipes. Holdable shields. Basic swimming. Updates and improvements to the UI. You can already see from when I showed you earlier, we're already updating the UI. New custom characters. There'll be more images down below. I'll show you here in a second, but you saw some from earlier. New weapons, new Zekes, and more. And I didn't scroll down when I was reading all those. There you go. See? Cool, moving on. Things to come post 1.0. Mod support. Console release. Recruitable NPCs. Vehicle trailers. Maximum players on server increased. More things to come via official post 1.0 roadmap. Okay, so we are going to be doing an official post 1.0 roadmap. Talking about these individually, mod support. We have not openly stated how mod support is coming yet because we are still working on it. Okay, that's why it's a post 1.0 thing. A lot of people want Steam Workshop, other people don't want Steam Workshop. We will see what happens, right? But mod support is coming to HumanitZ. The dev kits will go out to people. Console release, again, can't tell you which console or consoles this will be appearing on. Okay, more to follow. Recruitable NPCs, it's been a long time coming. Ever since, I think it was the 2nd of February, earlier this year, when Loki did the dev team interview live stream. Dubs had said that if we were to do recruitable NPCs, it would be after 1.0. There you go. Finally solidified. Recruitable NPCs post 1.0. Vehicle trailers. A lot of people want to be able to tow vehicles, tow trailers, tow, things to transport horses. Just like we get it. We want it too. And I believe Dubs actually has video footage on his YouTube channel showing what happens in Unreal Engine when you affix a trailer to a vehicle. You see the map from outer space. So it doesn't work. It sucks. So we are working tirelessly on the vehicle trailer system. It is something that we have wanted for a long time. Maximum players on server increased. Again, all the other performance optimization needs to happen before we can increase the maximum number on players. That being said, a lot of people also want a larger map. The map is not getting larger in size. We are adding the island, which is already a part of the map. It's just kind of blocked off unless you're in super admin mode. The map will not change in size. So having, arc numbers, I think it's 72. Is it 72 people on an arc server at a time? That's not what we're envisioning. Okay. We would like to have like up to like 32 people. 32 people is a good, comfortable number for a server. More things to come via official post 1.0. So we will be doing a roadmap for after 1.0. Still not sure whether it's going to be semi-annually, quarterly, you know, whatever it's going to be. It depends on how things go with 1.0, and you know what we're going to be working on. That being said, you can still see the checklist on the main store page. It's also pinned on the Discord. In general chat, you can see it pinned in there. Yeah. Now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about what we have been working on for the last few months. So I want to talk to you guys about the skills and professions overhaul. So I began working on the skills and professions overhaul about a year and a half ago, and we always said that it was going to come with 1.0. We thought it was going to be this huge, arduous process to get this to the way that we wanted it to be. And I'm going to show you guys here in a second where it went and where it is now, and the inspiration from it. I think it's safe to talk about the inspiration from it as well. It actually only took us about 2 weeks to get everything done between all, you know, like Kai getting the coding done, the work that I did for, I'm going to show you my terrible storyboards and how everything worked. Yaz getting the UI taken care of. Dubs coming in and fixing a lot of the things that weren't working. Like just the play testing that went into it, the testers that, you know, said, hey, this is what's wrong, this is what's good, maybe tone back on this, maybe, you know, boost this, you know. So it's really cool. Without getting into the pictures or anything yet. There we go. Okay. The new overhaul might be the most significant update to the game we've ever made since launching in early access back in September of 2023. It has been. The old system has been completely reworked. So right now, all it is like a box, and you know, you accrue points and you click on whatever you want, right? For those of you who have ever played Warhammer 40K Inquisitor, right? That's where my inspiration for this came from. I took a couple of screenshots from, you know, like how they have theirs all laid out. Do you guys actually use AI to help coding? There's nothing bad about it if yes, by the way. No, we don't use AI to help us code. I'm not going to get into, I'm not going to say anything about AI, positive or negative. But I will say that no AI is used in the coding. And if AI is used in the coding per Steam, we are required to declare that any AI that is used has to be used, whether it be in art, whether it be in coding, whether it be in writing any dialogue, whether it be in localization. That is a Steam requirement, I believe, as of middle of last month. Or maybe it was earlier this month that they put out, and it was just like, no, you need to declare this. But no, we don't use AI for our coding. The old system, but yeah, Warhammer 40K Inquisitor. I was a huge Warhammer 40K Inquisitor player, and I loved the way that their skill trees worked. So I took inspiration from that, and we kind of came up with this. It is very rudimentary, right? This is just storyboard at this point. The old system has been completely reworked. We're introducing 3 major skill tree archetypes, each with branching trees inside them. So you're going to have your weapons tree, you're going to have your survival tree, and then you're going to have your professions, right? So inside your weapons tree, you'll have melee, firearms, bows, traps, and it's written right here, explosives. For your survival tree, you're going to have movement, health, crafting and building, and hunting. For your profession-specific trees, all new added professions. You guys can make your own assumptions on what those classes are when I show you the next panel. Each profession will now have its own unique skill tree, featuring unlockable abilities tailored to that path. We're also excited to announce the addition of multi-classing. As your character progresses, you'll be able to select up to 3 distinct classes. So you've got the class that you pick, and then somewhere along the way you can pick a second profession, and then later on you can pick a third profession, allowing you more flexibility and deeper customization in your builds. So for example, if I can click on this, but make it minimal, maybe I can move this around a little bit. Okay. Somebody wanted to give me shit that this says Rouge, but if you look over here, it says Rogue. Yeah, I got you. Okay. It's not spelled Rouge in the fucking game. Relax. All right. But what I did was I came up with like, what it looked like. I didn't populate any of what the skills did or anything. We actually sat down as a team and like for I think it was like 2 or 3 days. We took about 3 or 4 hours and we sat down and we're like, all right, let's work on this profession. What do we envision? What do we see? How does this go? Da, 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 da. So we added some stuff in. Later on, I'll be able to, like, once this is done and finalized, I can put out the actual storyboards of what it looked like, how it came to be. Um, but we sat here and we just started typing in names of things and what they did and how it just came about. So you've got where the starting spot and then like a final skill, which was like an ultimate that you can unlock. So you will be able to unlock some type of ultimate skill. And this is what it currently looks like. Okay. Well, this is what it looked like a month ago. Right? It's been tweaked a little bit. But this will give you a roundabout idea of what it looks like. So the way it's going to work is right now, this person is the unemployed profession. This is what this profession is, unemployed. Okay. When you click on the melee weapon skill or any of these different skills, they will be locked. You will need to complete these objectives in order to unlock it. Much like, again, Warhammer 40k Inquisitor was huge inspiration to this. They have a whole bunch of different tile sets. And in order to unlock that little specific portion of that skill tree, you need to accomplish something, whether it be like, incinerate 50 enemies, Xenos or whatever, use turret traps, 5 or 6 times in order to unlock that. That's how this kind of works. We drew inspiration from that and said, let's go ahead and give the players things to do to unlock those trees. This will award experience in conjunction with the experience you gain from actually doing those things. So killing Zekes using a light melee weapon, a medium melee weapon, and a heavy melee weapon, right? You're going to get experience along the way just from killing the zombies. And then once you unlock those also give experience. Okay? You'll see it when it happens. Each tree will have goals that you need to complete to unlock that tree. So clicking on the melee, once it's unlocked, will look something like this. And you've got your little branching arrow paths, okay? So you're going to be able to customize your characters a lot more. But yeah, earning experience along the way. And then you can tailor, if you want to be like, well, I don't really use heavy melee weapons. I don't really use light bladed weapons. I'm not going to spec into that. I'm going to spec into medium blunt, or I'm going to spec into firearms or bows specifically. So it's completely up to you guys at that point. Instead of just those basic skills that we had before. We've recently hired a talented character artist, and work is well on the way to create completely new custom characters and clothing. There will be different body types for both male and female. So you're going to have the regular, you're going to have the skinny, and then you're going to have the bulky, right? I'm very sad that the muscle mommy is going away. I thoroughly enjoyed the muscle mommy. I thought she was a gorgeous creature. She was beautiful, and she will live on through the NPCs that live in the world. But I haven't seen the new ladies yet. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so new character modeling, new models. Yep. 2 beards and a producer. Hello, welcome in. Absolutely. This is what they're looking like. They look a little bit more. You can't really see it here, but if you go again on the Steam page and you look, they're very detailed. You can actually see the veins in their arms and their legs. You can see their abs. You've got a more muscular person here. You got a more skinnier person here. You can have a more beer gut dad bod type for the heavier set. More character models. Always working, always working. Sneak peek at some of the work we have been doing. Right, so you can barely make this out, but this is what it looked like before. Or this is what it looks like now. So you can see, like, if I put my mouse right here, you can see the cursor is moving back and forth. So there is weapon sway now, right? There's going to be skills that help you with weapon sway. There's going to be skills that help you with reticle bloom. There's going to be skills with, there's a whole plethora of stuff that we're adding in to help tailor your character. You've got muzzle raising, as you can see from this right here. Okay, so you just hold down the trigger on the weapon, you're going to have weapons moving. As you fire your weapon, the bloom is going to go out. So if you want to just, keep rapid firing, it's going to be like pop, 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 pop. You're going to be hitting somewhere in here instead of hitting back down in here. Here's just a small taste of new stuff we've been working on and adding. New weapons, new ammo types, new food items, new crafting items, crafting stations, and buildings. This image is not all-encompassing, so stay tuned for more info in the future. Cement mixer, so that way you can craft your own cement. I'm not going to go into what this is because this involves something important that we haven't talked about. Hmm. Nice fire axe. You got your flare gun. You got your ammo types, which we covered earlier. You've got some more food items that are over in here. You got an alarm clock. Again, final words. Thanks for taking the time to read our latest Zeek Feed. We hope you're as excited as we are for the future of humanity. From here on out, we will be bringing you more Zeek Feeds to help keep you updated on progress and all the latest info as we move towards 1.0. And yes, we know the big question on everyone's mind, when will 1.0 drop? We can't reveal the exact date yet, but trust us, it's coming sooner than you think. Thank you for your support, survivors. Stay safe out there. HumanitZ team. And again, rate it up. Look at that. 1,247 rate ups. Look at that. Fantastic. And I've been heavily involved in the discussions in this. A lot of people have had some great feedback. So yeah, that's a lot of the stuff that we've been doing. Again, we've been keeping true to our word. It's been less than a month, and this is all the stuff that we've been working on and adding. You know, your character models, new zombies, the grass disappearing on the floor, all the new buildings that are coming in, all the challenges. What was this? Oh, the guns and the ammo, character models, all the different UI updates, the difficulty settings that we're working on, the negative traits, not negative traits, the afflictions. Ugh, the afflictions that we're going to be adding in. Negative skills, afflictions, and then the infection overhaul. So that's what we covered this time. I promise you, you guys saw everything that was on that list all the way back down here, all the stuff that we're working on. We're making good on what we're talking about. You can see that some of the stuff that we talked about this time with Zeek Feed 007 wasn't actually added into this. So yes, we've got all this stuff that we're working on, but we've got a lot more that we're working on as well. So it's getting checked off. It's going. It's working. So if anybody has any questions, you know, we can hang out for a little bit. You guys can ask your questions. We can talk about the game. If there's anything that you like or don't like about the game, or hey, Marco, thanks for chatting. Appreciate you. If you guys have anything you guys want to ask, I'm sure if Yaz is still lurking around. I know he's balls deep in a bunch of stuff right now too. He's very, very busy. He's going to be out of pocket for the next few days. Hey, thanks, man. See, there he is. You know, if you guys got questions, comments, concerns, bitches, gripes, complaints, please, now is the time to ask. Oh, where's your Reese? Oh, come here, baby. You guys haven't seen her in a hot minute. Come here, baby. Oh, come here. Come here. Oh, you big boy. Oh, it's my big boy. Oh, you're big girl. Oh, you're big girl. Look how big she's getting. She's so huge. Oh, you're a big girl. What about your sister? Oh, careful. Hush. Come here. Come here. Come here, baby. I don't think you guys can see Ash. Hang on. Oh, come here. Oh, say hi. Hello. Where's your pretty girl? Anything? Anything? Questions, comments, going once? Going twice. I'm going to drink my Kool-Aid. All right. Well, if nobody has any questions or anything, make sure that you guys head on over to Steam. If you guys hope will be hard game. You can make it hard. That's what she said. You can make the game difficulty on your own. Will the sword of Excalibur be found in the stone? Yes and no. Yes and no. I can't go into much. Yeah, see, Yaz says ish. Ish. Yes and no. Sort of. Quite possible. When I cut trees, sometimes the logs and sticks are hidden below the ground. Is this going to be fixed? Yes. So the reason why that happens is because the foliage system where the tree is with the ground, and I guarantee that most of the time it's because it's on an incline, right? Like when it's on a hill. Yeah, see, we already know. So it's an issue with the foliage system and with the terrain. There's a problem with it. So it tends to go lower to where it's not supposed to. There are some trees that are still unaccounted for in the foliage system because right now everything is supposed to drop at the player's feet. This was a huge issue when we brought in 917. We had to do an immediate fix. 917? I think it was 917. We had to do an immediate fix because all the wood and the stones and everything were appearing on just it was just under the map. Like you could walk over the ground and it would say stone, but there would be no fucking stone there. So there it was that was the problem. There's still a couple of trees unaccounted for, but it's most notably on inclines of the topography. So yes, that is being looked at and worked and fixed. Will we get the option to impale past failed raiders attacks heads to warn? Okay, I got you. Will you be able to stick heads on pikes? That's not a bad shout. I mean, it's not a bad shout. I can't say whether or not that right now. I can tell you right now that's not something that's being worked on, but that's probably something that we can look into. It could be a crafted item, kind of like how in Grounded you can create the ant heads on pikes and stick them out in front of your base, and it deters the red ants from coming near your base. But that's not a bad idea. I personally have been asking for the ability to take some of the masks that you can get and putting them in a display case, or somebody. And then when I mentioned that, somebody this got like 2 years ago, somebody had asked, can we get the ability to put them on the vehicles like in Mad Max? And I was like, well, we do have vehicle modification coming, so that's also something that we can probably look at maybe post 1.0. I'm not necessarily, I would love to stick Raider heads on my vehicles. I'll tell you that much. I am not above that. I absolutely love that. I would love it if my vehicle stayed dirty and bloody whenever I ran into stuff. Um, Kiddo's prescription is ready. Will there be walkie-talkies for kind of team-ups? Walkie-talkies is something that we have discussed. I do actually believe, let me go to the store page real quick. Right here, walkie-talkies. That's something that we are working on. Okay. Um, what we envision what we envision for the walkie-talkies would be maybe you get random quests that can come in across the walkie-talkies. You guys would be able to use VoIP to talk on the walkie-talkies, so that way you guys don't have to be in close physical proximity. You guys can use in-game chat in order to talk to each other across long distances. Maybe call in traders. There's a lot of things that we have that we could use for the walkie-talkies. So it is on the table, as you can see, but it's kind of on the tail end of things that we're working on. Get the gore stuck in your Raider fan or wrapped around your drive shaft. Yeah, you get their intestines wrapped up in a VoIP would be nice. The question, well, VoIP is already in the game. You can see that right here. VoIP in-game chat. VoIP already works. Did you guys make progress on the map reset crash issue? Stopped play because of that issue. No. And the reason why is because we are not going to. Oh, VoIP for walkie-talkies, you mean? Yes. We are still working on that issue. That is not a dead issue. It is still logged. The problem is that careful dog. The problem is that we are not going to force our computer into an electrical system crash in order to get that to happen. We've already tried to do Alt F4. We've already tried to do a shutdown of the computer. We've already tried to do various multiple things outside of forcing a power outage to recreate that issue. We're still working on it. If that's a deterrence for you to play, I completely get it. One thing that we are working on is the save system. So that way, you know, if you wanted to load an older save, you could do that and then still have your stuff. Not, yeah, it's not an easy issue to solve. Thanks, Yaz. It's not easy to solve. But we are working on it. So one caveat, one way to get around that is the save system and being able to load a previous save state, but that also means that we have to go in and recode a lot of stuff to get that working too. Right now, the bang for the buck is not there in order for us to go in and completely retool the save system. Because right now the only time it's ever happened is when people have power outages. That is the common denominator. Ew, gross. Ew. The common denominator is power outages. I've had it happen to me. I've had power outages in my house too. I won't be surprised if I don't get one today as well. Act of God, yeah, act of something. But save system is out of server side, right? I mean, it's about single player modem. That's what I'm talking about. The save system for single player and hosted multiplayer. I'm not talking about servers. I'm talking about people playing their single player games. You know that you know that happens. However, we could also incorporate the my recommendation as a fix for now would be hit F12 when you have your map open, right? We can incorporate a admin command that reveals the map. And then you can be like, all right, cool. You know, I've revealed the map. And you can go back in and plug in what you got based off of your image. That's the only workaround that I can best give you right now. Outside of, you know, like the power outages, you know, it's I can't control that. What else you guys got? Anything else? Otherwise, this will go up onto YouTube. This will be here on Twitch for however long it remains. I will go ahead and once it's available for YouTube, then I'll post it. I got to make sure that it's actually good quality. But yeah, if nobody has anything else, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the time that you've taken out of your day in order to come hang out with us and ask your questions. Sit through my bumbling for the past hour. It's already such a great game. You spend over 100 plus hours since 2 months. Nice. Hell yeah. I mean, even if you only spent like, you know, 10, 15 hours and you're like, all right, cool, you know, chill, you know. Hey, what's up, Loki? Hey, make sure you got, oh, Loki, don't fucking sub to my channel. Come on, man, don't sub. Don't sub. Wasted sub. Come on, man. I hardly stream. I do need to get back into streaming. But yeah, everything is going to go great. Everything's fantastic. Everything's moving. Keep your feedback coming. I do need to stream more, but maybe I'll get back into once things slow down. Maybe every Friday. We'll see. But we've got a lot of work. That's more important than streaming. Big up, bro. Yeah, okay. Thanks for all your stuff. I appreciate it. If you have comments, concerns, bitches, gripes, complaints, make sure you put them in when this goes live on YouTube. If people have lasted this long, make sure you put them in the comments. If you don't like something, please let us know what you don't like and why. Give us the opportunity to fix it, okay? Don't just say, you know, shit ass game and then don't give us any feedback. Be like, cool, tell us why it's a shit ass game. Let us fix it. Ugh. Otherwise, tell us why you love the game. Cool. All right. Well, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye.